Hey everybody, welcome to the Always Out of Market podcast. Week 7 in the NFL. Excuse the dog noise if you hear that in the background. Ember is hyper as fuck because we're at the lake right now. But yeah, it's week 7. There's only 3 of us today because we're the best 3, obviously. We voted. We did a vote, a group vote between all the 6 of us, and we all voted that the 3 of us were the best. So we won the challenge. We're here. Welcome to the NFL.
All right.
I love it. So, Jason, what do we got?
Not a lot, which is probably a good thing because we usually have it's just full of injuries is what we have for news. This week we only have one injury type of news. But we're gonna start with something else. The Eagles signed Julio Jones to a 1-year deal. I think they originally signed him to the practice squad and are planning on immediately bumping him up to the 53-man roster. I don't know
Not
why
gonna do anything.
why do they think they need another receiver? They had Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert at tight end.
I think, is it Quez Watkins? Isn't he hurt or something? And he's technically their wide receiver 3. So I think that was the idea. I guess they're trying to make another big push. But really, it's the Philadelphia Titans at this point. You've got AJ Brown, Julio Jones, who of course was mostly a Falcon first, but he did go to the Titans for his wide receiver career to die. And then you've got Marcus Mariota as your backup quarterback. There's a lot of interesting things going on over there.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the Eagles a little bit more later on because I've got some things to say about them, and I think Steven also does. So
I don't think Julio's going to do crap. I think he'll get maybe 2 targets and 1 reception. If that. So.
Or all season, or just in the next game that he
just
played?
The next game.
Oh, okay.
And he'll get injured in 2 weeks or something. Probably. I mean, I hope he doesn't. I'm not going to hope. I don't wish injury on any player, but he's old. So
yeah,
I'd love to see Julio play good again though, because he went to the Buccaneers and he was like a ghost on that team too. So I'd love to actually see Julio have a chance to do something again.
He hasn't been impactful since the Falcons, really. So
yeah. We've got more wide receiver news. The Chiefs traded for Mecole Hardman from the Jets. The Jets receive a 2025 6th-round pick. The Chiefs receive a 2025 7th-round pick and Hardman. So the Chiefs are trying to buff up that horrid wide receiver room that they have over in Kansas City.
Yeah, they probably needed to do this. It's like, hey, please come back. We need you again.
Yeah, he already played
good.
with the Chiefs. He started his career with the Chiefs, if I remember right. So a little bit of a reunion going on. So we'll see if that helps them out. I still think they don't have a star receiver, and I think that's what they're really missing to get those explosive plays on offense that they just haven't had this year that they've had in the past with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your number 1 receiver is still a tight end, being Travis Kelce. But I mean, I definitely think you got to help him out because his wide receiver core, Sky Moore, has not been living up to what people were really hyping up Sky Moore, I feel like, and I don't feel like he's really done all that much for the Chiefs. I mean, I don't have the stats to prove that, but it just doesn't feel like from what I've seen watching the games. And yeah, just we know about the inconsistency of Kadarius Toney that we're seeing. He does have a touchdown, but he's dropped so many passes. So
yeah,
he's got a touchdown and 1 touchdown the entire season.
Yeah,
it's even 6 games. That's pretty shit, honestly.
For being his wide receiver 1, I think. I don't know if he's still listed as wide receiver 1 on the depth chart. He was at the beginning of the year.
If you're wide receiver 1 to Patrick Mahomes, you should have more than a fucking 6 of a touchdown per game on average.
Let's see. Kadarius Toney currently has 17 receptions for 92 yards and 1 touchdown this season.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
How many drops? How many targets does he have out of those 17 receptions? Does it
25.
Say? Okay, so at least he's not getting targeted a huge amount for a wide receiver 1. But honestly, after that first week, I wouldn't trust him. Like,
no, it's...
Yeah, that also means he's not getting open too. Like he's
Yeah.
not making separation. So Patrick Mahomes is not going to take. I mean, he can get some crazy throws in there, but he's not going to try to throw the crazy ones. Especially with, I mean, he's had interception problems this year too. So
yeah,
I don't think the Chiefs are Super Bowl in this year. I just don't see it happening, honestly.
I think we'll
Well,
see
I
him in
know
the
they're so good.
playoffs probably.
Well, yeah, they're
but
good in the playoffs for sure, but I do not see them. I am. That is one of, I think, the most confident, or semi most confident thing of my bold predictions at the beginning of the year, where I said the Chiefs would go out in the first round of the playoffs that they play in, that they lose their first game in the playoffs that they played in. That's what my prediction was, and I am fully believe that. I think
you're also you must have the mindset that the referees are going to stop favoring the Chiefs so heavily.
I think it's just people are going to see what they want to see. I mean, yeah, there has been some shitty calls, but it's not like, I don't think it's actually like people are actually the refs don't actually throw the games on purpose. They're just idiots sometimes.
Yeah, no, I also that I think the Chiefs have gotten really lucky with their calls. I don't actually think the NFL is scripted like a lot of people do.
Conspiracy.
No, yeah.
It's just, it would be so hard to script games, you know, like
Mhm.
it'd just be nearly impossible.
I do love the commercials they've been doing with the actual, like, where they're all have a script or whatever. Like, I love that they've been leaning into it. Where there's a script in the like before the season started.
Yeah,
It does. I do want to say for the Chiefs conspiracy thing going on with them getting favorable calls, it is funny that they keep getting bailed out when Taylor Swift is there, because then everyone's making it like that. It's like,
Yeah,
well, you can't let the Chiefs lose when Taylor Swift's there. All the
That's the,
Swifties will
like-
be mad.
that's the biggest thing is to me is that it has happened in the games where she's there, where they always get a call at the end of the game. So
It's just
Yeah.
funny. All right, what else we got?
let's see. We had the one injury report that we have is Anthony Richardson is scheduling season-ending shoulder surgery for his AC joint injury. So he is done for the season already, which is brutal for the Colts. I mean, Gardner Minshew is a decent backup, but Anthony Richardson gave that team some kind of different life when he was on the field. And as we saw, Gardner Minshew, we see why he's not a starting quarterback.
Oh no, he played really good. Like, it seems like he's the type of quarterback that you want to just come in an emergency, because apparently he balls out in those moments. But when he's actually like set up to play the whole game, he hasn't been as good. I mean, we saw him last week. He threw like 3 or 4 interceptions, so he made some very poor choices. But I still think he's a solid backup for what you've got. And I think the Colts will still be okay. And I hate saying that because they're in my division, but I still think they'll be okay. Yeah, I hate that for Anthony Richardson. I think a lot of it has to do with he's a very mobile quarterback, which is awesome and it's fun to watch, but it is a risky type thing to have. And then also, I think I've heard Lucas Oil Stadium, their turf has some problems, so that certainly hasn't helped. I mean, he got hurt like basically every game, and then this is finally the one that sent him out for the season.
Yeah, I think he played in like 4 or 5 games, and he got an injury in every single game. Whether it was just a minor thing and he came back in, or concussion and now the shoulder injury that's going to keep him out the rest of the season. So I think I brought it up last week about how teams are going to start transitioning away from picking running quarterbacks at this point because they are just so injury prone.
I mean, I said I think it will a little bit, but there is still, like, occasionally you do get some that are just phenomenal and aren't injury prone. Like I said last week, Russell Wilson, phenomenal running quarterback who never got injured until like he was over 30 years old.
I think it's also got to do something with, I don't know if it's completely just, the running type quarterback. I think it's more just how good of an improviser they are. Like, I feel like teams are going to go for the guy that can make a crazy, like, split-second decision to just save some yards. So, in those situations, any of them can at least run the ball a little bit. It's just some are obviously better than others at it. But
yeah, some are more graceful than others. If you look at
it was always real fun
Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead. I'm saying it was always real fun to watch Ben Roethlisberger scramble. You know, that
I
like
was-
freaking top heavy boy.
I was about to say you can see the gracefulness of having somebody like Patrick Mahomes scramble, and then somebody like Tom Brady or Ben Roethlisberger try and
Mhm.
scramble, and it's just such a stark difference.
Y'all can't forget Matt Ryan. When Matt Ryan
Oh,
had to
Matt-
scramble, that was some of the most cringy running I've ever seen
Especially-
in my life.
Especially when he was on the Colts.
Oh my god, he looked so slow on the
Yeah.
Colts when he ran. He ran like the slowest 10 yards I think I ever saw in one of the Titans games.
Have you seen Najee Harris run?
Well, yeah, that's... Ugh.
Yeah.
Go
that's-
Steelers!
Well, I've got one more bullet point. I think we talked about this particular thing maybe around draft time about Roger Goodell being on his last year of his contract as commissioner. He
Yeah.
signed an extension this week. I think it may have been yesterday when it came out, if I remember right. He has extended his contract to 2027. So at least 4 more years of Roger Goodell as commissioner. I'm not upset about it. It's gonna be weird to not have him as commissioner, I feel like.
You know, I think it's better to just keep him at this point. Obviously, we have our complaints with some of the things he does and all that, but I still think overall he's done a really good job. And
Yeah.
who knows what it'll look like when he finally does leave. I just don't know what to expect after that. So
Yeah,
They should make me commissioner. I think I'd do a great job, honestly.
Ryan, I would vote for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I don't think it works like that, but I would.
I don't think
They hold a vote like
election,
they hold a vote like it's the election. Who do you want as the NFL commissioner next?
Luckily,
It's like
my
the sheriff.
vote, it's like the electoral college. My vote is worth more than some other
Perfect.
places. So
That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
They should do it where like the head coaches vote or something, or the GMs or something vote for the commissioner.
So I think they should do the owners of the teams should vote. And I think that should be the only ones who get to vote.
depending on
Because-
your record of that season, depends on how strong your vote is. The worse you are, the less your vote matters.
So everybody's points rank from 32 to 1 based on your record from your previous season. So if you had the best record, you get 32 points for your vote.
And the Panthers, if they vote, they're like, it doesn't matter. It's not going to help
Yeah.
me either way.
Yeah, that's it for news this week. There just really wasn't a whole lot that's happened. I think next week and the week after, we're going to wind up having a lot of news with the trade deadline coming up. But so far, there really hasn't been any trades other than Mecole Hardman going to the Chiefs. So
I think there's about to be a couple of big trades on y'all's two teams. So
yeah, there's been talks of Jerry Jeudy being traded and Derrick Henry being traded. So we'll keep up with that. If anything happens, we'll talk about it whenever it does. I know the biggest one I've seen for the Broncos has been Jerry Jeudy going to the Colts. But that seems a little odd when you just lost your new quarterback for a whole year. Why you would go for a wide receiver now. So if that's what happens, I wish him nothing but the best of luck. I love Jerry Jeudy. I don't want to see him go. So, but we'll see what happens in the next 10 days.
he hasn't really done anything for y'all this year, though, at all.
Yeah,
I know he's been
he
good in the
hasn't.
past, but he hasn't. He's been on a couple of my fantasy teams riding the bench. He hasn't I think he broke 10 points maybe once so far in fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been on my
So-
bench too in my other league. I can't use him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we're ready to talk about fantasy real quick before we get into picks and stuff. All right. So let me pull it up real quick.
Well, let's take a gander here.
All right. So first off, we've got for our first matchup, we've got me and Jason facing off. Of course, Thursday Night Football already happened. And the worst trade I've ever done in my life, I finally gave up Alvin Kamara. Again, it was a decision because I had too many RBs. And then now I've got an RB that's hurt, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Alvin Kamara did really well, putting up a lot of points. He put up 29 points. And then, of course, Evan Ingram also played 9.5. I didn't have anybody play.
How much did
Jags game.
on your bench? How much did Olave get? That was the trade that you got for Kamara.
He got 12, so he at least got some
Yeah.
points. You know, it's solid. and definitely am going to need him when the Rams and Eagles have their
Yeah.
bye. So, it made sense to make the trade. It still hurts to see Kamara doing as well as he did. But yeah, so right now I think I'm favored still, but I think it was only like a 51-49. It doesn't show that on here, but I'm projected to get 134. He's got 131. So
Yeah.
I saw a stat saying that Kamara is second on their team in receptions, and he was out the first 3 games of the season.
yeah, well,
That's why he's got so many points. He had like 60 rushing yards on Thursday night, and that was it. And he still managed to get 30 points.
Well, and that's the thing is that the first game back, I remember Alvin Kamara, depending on PPR leagues or not, was a drastic difference, like where he ranked. Because that first week, he had some receptions for like -1 yard. So, obviously, very big difference. But, yeah. Did you pick up the Rams defense this week?
I did.
Which, I mean, is solid going against Pittsburgh's offense. So, and then I've got the Bills' defense against New England's offense. So,
yeah,
this is an interesting defense matchup.
Our defenses might ball out this week.
Yeah. And I haven't played him in a bit, but I've had Ayuk for a while. I picked him up after week 1 when he just was incredible, and then he got hurt right away. My luck, of course. But I got him in my flex. Just didn't feel good about everyone else. And at least Ayuk is going against Minnesota, so that's a good matchup. So, Ryan, you're the only person not on the podcast that's in this matchup. Who would you pick on this?
I think I'm going to go. The Eagles are playing Miami. I don't know. I think I'm going to go. No, I think Steven has a better team, but it's the fact that the Eagles are playing Miami is why I'm like kind of conflicted because that's half your fucking team is the Eagles.
He does have 4 Eagles players this week.
Yep. The only thing that I want to bring up is that remember Miami's offense is incredible. Their defense is like the defensive line is really good, but I still feel like AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert are going to be able, like looking at fantasy, it's a good matchup for them.
Okay, well, yeah. Then yeah, I'll go Steven. It's all dependent on the Eagles. 100%. If the Eagles win, Steven wins. If the Eagles ball out, Steven wins. If they do nothing, Steven loses. That's what it lies.
I'm actually realistically, I'm hoping for an Eagles Miami back and forth offensive scoring game. That's what I'm rooting for.
But every touchdown is to Devontae Smith.
God, I would hate you. I would hate you so much. And that's the thing is, early on in the season, it was really starting to look bad because Devontae Smith was doing way more than AJ Brown, and then the second I was about to give up on AJ, it's like it just completely switched because now AJ Brown has been getting lots of points. In fact, I put him on the bench last week because I was worried about the matchup with the Jets, and even though the Jets did win, AJ Brown still balled out, and of course DJ Moore lost his quarterback in the middle of the game, so of course I got fucked. So that's why I ended up losing to Matthew last week. It wasn't by a big amount. I was really, at the end, I was just hoping Eckler would put up enough points, and he just didn't. So, all right, let's move on. Oh, go ahead.
I was sitting here looking. We have almost nobody playing at noon on Sunday. We have to wait until the 3 o'clock games to see what our team is really going to do.
Oh, I also forgot to mention, so Gavin dropped Justin Tucker right before the Titans game, and he put up like 18 points. I know he hasn't been great this year, but I decided since Evan McPherson was on bye, so I just dropped him and picked up Justin Tucker. I might end up grabbing another one next week, but I just went ahead and grabbed Justin Tucker for now. All right, and we've got Tyler versus Matthew. We won't go too much into detail on these since they're not here.
Calvin Ridley got 1.5 points. That is abysmal.
Calvin Ridley, like, he really balled out that first week, and then he's kind of been, he's kind of been a ghost too.
I see Tyler isn't as biased this week as he has been in the past. There's no Titans members on his starting lineup.
One thing I want to see. So Aaron Jones is still listed as questionable, and that's the thing, is that actually matters for my other league. This is an interesting one because I've also got Aaron Jones in my flex. What I'm worried about is if he plays or not. But if he does, he is going up against Denver, and they're 32nd against running backs right now. So that's kind of a key right there. But I mean, obviously, I'm sure Matthew is at least favored a little bit. Yeah, 142 versus 107.
And Matthew's got this. I mean, I don't see a way Tyler wins this.
Unless like Tyreek Hill and Saquon both go off for 50 points apiece, I don't see this going Tyler's way.
I don't see Tyler, honestly, not losing.
Look at his bench.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's got everyone on bye, and then David Montgomery's hurt. Like that sucks.
That sucks. I'm
surprised
Tyler doesn't lose this league, honestly.
See, David Montgomery is on out. Like he's got a status of out, so he could move him into the IR spot and pick up somebody.
You can't move him to the IR spot unless they're IR, can you?
No, you can if they've got a out and a 0.0.
Oh, really?
I know because I put Kyron Williams in my IR spot. He doesn't have an IR designation yet. So, which I'll go back, I think. Is that actually where I have him? I want to make sure I'm not lying. Yeah, see, I've got Kyron Williams. He's just listed as out.
You know that. Cool. Well, I mean, I don't. Doesn't matter for me. My IR spot's going to be filled for a while.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm not dropping him. So.
Yeah, this is what mine's going to be like in week 10, which of course is when I'm playing Tyler, who I really need to beat. So I'm really happy that that's the week I play Tyler, when half my team is going to be out. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. We've got Gavin is facing Ryan. So Ryan,
pretty close game projected, right? It's only 2 points difference in projections right now. So
138 Ryan to 140 Gavin. So it's pretty close.
If you had Justin Jefferson, I would 100% give you the edge based off of how ETN did on Thursday night. But because you don't have Justin Jefferson, and you have Jacoby Myers in, which is still a solid pick, I don't know who to give the edge to in this game.
Yeah, it sucks as well because Adam Thielen has really stepped in up for me to be my Justin Jefferson role. He's been fucking balling out, but he's on bye week this week. So I have to go with Jacoby Myers. I mean, Jacoby Myers, like I said, has been doing good, but I don't know. I trust him more than Michael Pittman with out Anthony Richardson, or I think Amari Cooper has been kind of inconsistent. I have a lot of receivers. I have a lot of decent receivers on my bench. It's just Jacoby Myers has been doing the best recently, so I put him in.
I think, I mean, the biggest thing that I hate for you, Ryan, is that the Saints kind of let you down points-wise, because they let the Jags score 31 points, so they ended up getting 0 points for, like, allowed and, points allowed.
They got positive points. That's, not bad for a
Jags. No, it's just one of those, I think their 2 points are from 2 interceptions or something.
Yeah.
But he's got the Browns defense. I noticed this last week because I tried to pick up the Browns defense and wasn't sure where it was because I knew he had Dallas, but it's because he's got both. Gavin's got the Cowboys defense, which is of course on bye, and the Browns defense. The Browns defense in fantasy hasn't looked necessarily as good, but they're like breaking records right now for like yards allowed. Like their defense is stellar this year. So especially against the Colts, and not sure what we're going to see out of Gardner Minshew, I could see the Browns defense putting up a lot of points. And then, so I mean, I'm gonna give the edge to Gavin just a little bit. But.
I'm just annoyed they barely beat me that first time we played, and now I've got Justin Jefferson out and my person who replaced Adam Thielen on bye week as well, so I can't fully go against Gavin. It's like because they were, I mean. Obviously Thielen recently, but they've been my two most consistent, biggest weapons throughout the season. It sucks that they're both out.
I'm going to give the edge to Ryan, looking at the matchups, because you got Mahomes going against the Chargers, and their defense is not great. You got Jacoby Myers going up against the Bears. The Bears defense is not great. Kenneth Walker is going up against the Cardinals defense. They're not great. And then, I mean, I think the Rams are going to wind up putting a lot of points up against the Steelers, and he's got Brett Maher to be able to kick a bunch of extra points. So I'm going to give the edge to Ryan slightly.
Fair enough. I mean, I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be like, I want to see what Amon Ra. Amon Ra has been awesome to watch. I'm a big fan of him, so I want to see
I love it
another
because
good.
I have him in every single league. All 4 of my leagues, I have him. I'm on Ron. It's great. I have Etienne in 3 of my leagues too.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't have him in is my division league. It's a joke. But yeah, I mean, I think in this league, am I leading points for right now, or is Gavin leading it?
Let's see.
I think I might be second in like score.
Is that scoreboard?
So even though I'm 3-3, I've been kind of fucked over with matchups in
Maybe
this league. I know that.
standings. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Let me switch back to it.
Yeah, like,
It's you.
8:30. Yeah, it's me. Like I said so all 3 of my like regular fantasy leagues, I am leading in points for, and the other ones I'm doing like 5-1, and then this one I'm 3-3 because of the freaking matchups and crap, and it's annoying. Although I did have a really bad week when I played against Steven. But
yeah, you did. That was really the only reason I won. But
that's the only like bad week I've had, though. I mean, I didn't do that great against Matthew, but I still got like 120 something points, I think. So, and then Gavin beat me by like 4 points, so I got like 150 something. So,
moral victory right now for me is even though I'm not doing great in our league, I am 6-0 in my other one. So everyone in that league is looking at me like I'm like a fantasy genius, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just getting lucky. So
I've also got the most points against in our league too. Most points for and most points against, which is annoying. It's funny. In my money league that I one league that I'm going to put money into. We have a lot more players in our league, but I have my points for is 1,000. I have 1,000 points for my team, which is like the most by a lot in that league. Points against is 800. I have a 200 point difference between my points against and points for in that league. It's crazy.
All right. Well, are we ready to get into picks?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm excited to see everybody's picks for this week because there were quite a few games that I had problems with picking.
All right. So let's start off with our week stats. So week 6, look at everybody tied for first except for Ryan and Matthew. Ryan, of course, he had a bad week. Matthew cursed him because Matthew kept following him. Yeah. Matthew kept following him and just cursed him. There were only a couple that Matthew did not pick the same as Ryan, and he got those wrong. So Matthew got 40%. Ryan was at a solid 53, and then everyone else is 67. So
at least as long as I get more than half, I'm happy. So and I'm only got 2 below y'all, so it's not awful.
Yeah, no, this was a surprising week. So yeah, because of easier to move people around and stuff, I put Tyler at the top here. Might as well. Good job, buddy. You finally did
good
well.
Job. He finally did. He finally got first by tying 4 ways for first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still first. So
we have a slide that pays homage to him for his picks last week.
Yeah.
So.
I will say this week. I mean, I haven't seen obviously the slides or anything yet, but I do not expect to be like by myself like at all or that much this week. I'll be surprised if I am.
No,
I don't
you're
think
not.
I didn't pick very like weird picks this week.
No, I don't even think. Yeah, I don't think there is a single slide that you're by yourself, if I remember correctly when placing them. So, all right, let's move to the next slide. So, Jason made us a little slide this week. I think that's the next one. Yep. So you were right, we were wrong. Well, Tyler's not here on the episode, but, we shit on him last week for picking the Browns over the 49ers. And, the Browns defense is really good, but we didn't think against the 49ers and, PJ Walker being at quarterback. But funny enough, look what the Browns did. They upset the 49ers. I just want to say, so Ryan came over to my place to watch some of the games with me. And I remember when Moody was lining up for that kick to win the game for the 49ers, and I was like, Ryan, I don't feel good about this. And then he fucking missed it. It's like...
it was just... I was watching that game too, and I had the same fucking feeling.
Yeah. Honestly, not mad about it, because as we all know, I fucking hate the 49ers.
Of course.
So, yeah, it's annoying that Tyler got that right, but I'm not mad about it. And also sorry for Ember barking. She's at the window. You can see a little view over there.
She's so cute.
Little dog cam.
Oh my god. I love Ember so much. But yeah, congratulations, Tyler. He also was the only one who picked the Commanders. That was the slide that had made him a tiny head on the setup. But yeah, so he got the Commanders right, and he got the Browns right.
Yeah,
We'll
he
let
is.
Ryan figure that situation out. Yeah, she good?
Yeah, I think she saw something in the yard. It's the lake. We're in the middle of the woods. There's a lot of things and animals walking around. So
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. This one I made. Yeah, I had to make something. All right. So we've got the worst pick change of the week. Yeah, as we know for Thursday night football, because we picked Thursday night football for the next week. We already picked for Jags Saints, and both Ryan and then of course Matthew followed him. Switched to the Saints instead of picking the Jags, and of course it kind of looked like it may have been going y'all's way at the end of that game. The Jags were trying to fucking blow that game.
Mm-hmm.
They had a huge lead earlier on, and then they almost they let them come back, but of course they still won. But yeah, I had to. I wanted to make him a sheep, and then I had the idea of making you a shepherd. So
that's amazing. I love leading him to the cliffs to jump off. That was the whole plan. I knew that was going to happen, so I wanted to tank Matthew's record more. So wait, Tyler could catch back up to Matthew. That's what the whole goal was.
Funny segue there, because let's move to the overall stats slide. Look who is catching up.
Oh man.
Matthew cannot let Tyler pass him. He can't. So
that'd be so. Matthew. Okay, so last year obviously was like he had some bad picks. But if he did fine this year, he could have gotten over the fact that we all said he was cursed last year. If he gets last this year as well, he's just you can't fucking argue that he's bad at picking. Like there's.
And he's also so right now Tyler's still in last at 48%, but Matthew is Matthew's falling off, and he's almost back down to his 50% that he loves to be at.
God.
And then everyone else is above 60. Well, Jason's right at 60, and then of course Gavin is still in first, and then Ryan, then me, then Jason, then Matthew, then Tyler. So it's we're getting to the point where the graphs aren't changing that much because they can only move so much with the amount of picks, but it's still everyone's still kind of in range at this point, except except from Gavin to me to Tyler. So
you the three of us are all like 2 away from each other pretty much. So we're all very close. One week away from switching positions with the three of us.
I was sitting here looking. It's tightening up. I know it didn't really change that much this week because a lot of us tied for first. The only change was Ryan falling off by a couple games to Gavin.
Yeah.
But it's only 8 games from first to fourth. So,
I think the story. Let me start. Go ahead, Jason. I'm going to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm saying it's only an 8-game spread from first to fourth. I mean, if somebody happens to have a really bad week and somebody has a really good week, it could bump fourth place up to first potentially.
I think the story of this season is going to be Gavin's going to be in first, Tyler and Matthew battling for for last place, and then the three of us just battling for that mid tier, being the best out of the mid tier.
I 100% agree. I think it's just going to be the 2, 3, and 4 moving around a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all so close together that I feel like that's the only thing that could really happen at this point.
All right. Well, let's get into our picks. So, not exactly, because I got to talk about our bye weeks first. Oh, shit. I'm on the wrong slide. There we go. All right. So, we've got a bye week. So, these... I'm obviously very happy because I don't have to see the Titans disappoint me this week. So, of course, I had to celebrate there.
Photo credit of Ryan right there. That's...
that's...
Also... Side note, a little background for this photo. So this is when in Gatlinburg. So Steven, this whole photo is Steven standing in front of a waterfall when we went up there. The three of us and a couple of others went up, or our friends. And Steven decided to jump across to this really slippery, wet rock to get this photo, and full on bit it and hit his ass and got like a wet butt immediately.
Dude, I
like 20 people
I legitimately thought that I like broke my wrist that day. I was like, "Oh God, did I really fuck myself up?"
He got a great photo out of it.
I did get a great photo out of it. It's
Yeah.
fine. You know, my wrist is fine. I'm good to go. So, but
yes,
yeah,
you can't see it, but Steven's ass in this photo is extremely wet.
oh my God, if I was turned the other way, you would see it. That would have been a weird picture to take, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, so the Titans are on bye, but you also got the Jets, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Bengals, and the Panthers. So I bet the Panthers are happy they've got a bye. They've got to figure something out.
Yeah. You went in such a weird order naming the teams off of who has a bye.
Yeah, I guess I started in the middle and then I went to the right. Yeah, that was a weird order, but they're all on there. Okay, and we'll get into the first game of the week. So we've got the Falcons at the Buccaneers, and Jason went alone on this. Everyone else went Buccaneers, but Jason went Falcons. You like the deal with it, Glass?
I'm surprised I was the only one who picked the Falcons. I didn't expect to be alone on this. I thought at least one other person would have went.
I have been a Falcons picker a lot this year, honestly, and it's worked out for me in the past. But past like couple of weeks, it just has not. They have not been doing as well as they did early season, and I think I don't know. I think the Buccaneers have this. I think this is honestly for me. This is kind of a coin flip, but I think the Buccaneers have it.
This was one of the few games where I went in and like did some research on it before I decided, because it was one of the games that I could not decide on my own. And I think if the Falcons get Bijan going, they'll win this game. But they have to get the run game going because Desmond Ridder is an interception machine. And against the Buccaneers defense, if he has to throw too much, they're going to lose.
That is why I picked the Buccaneers, because the defense for the Buccaneers they're young, but they've been pretty decent for the most part. And I think Desmond Ridder, just in those clutch moments, has not performed well. You can see Artie Smith has been really stressed out with him, making some very weird decisions. So that's why I went Buccaneers, and it's also a home for them. So
I thought the Falcons would do really good this year if they had a better quarterback. I still stand by what I said last week, where Desmond Ridder is probably the worst starting quarterback in the league right now. Oh, first string, not backup quarterback that's starting. But I think Desmond Ridder is the worst starting quarterback this year.
Also, something else that caught my eye when I was doing a little bit of research. Would you guys believe me if I told you the Falcons have a top 4 defense in the league right now?
No, but I mean, I don't feel like most people have been talking about them.
Well, they are 4th in the league right now. They're 1 yard away from being 3rd, tied with the 49ers.
Wow.
See, and I wondered about that because, the Falcons have always... I don't think anybody has them right now in our league, but they've always been at the top of, the available defenses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In fantasy. And I've kind of wondered about that, but I just never really thought about it, other than just... Oh, they're saying they're projected to get a lot of points.
Yeah, the big thing that got me to pick the Falcons is that the Falcons defense is actually pretty good, and the Buccaneers offense is not very good. When it comes to yards per game, at least, the Buccaneers are in the bottom 8 in the league.
We need another fuck it we ball from Baker. That's what we need to happen. If he thinks about it too hard, he's not as good. So,
well, I don't want that to happen. I picked the Falcons.
Well, I know, but for the rest of us, that's what we need to happen. All right.
It's weird seeing me pick by myself. I don't do that very often, and if I do, it's with the Broncos usually.
Oh, get ready for this week, Jason. All right. So, next slide, we've got the Raiders at the Bears, and we have a sweep for the Raiders.
Who even is in that photo?
It's so the theme I went with this week was tacky fans. So
nice. I like it.
So we got some Bears fans there. So the Raiders, obviously, we got a sweep. Justin Fields is out, I believe.
Yeah.
With his thumb injury or something like that.
Yeah, it's some kind of thumb injury that.
Who's their backup?
Play. Tyler Bagent. I think.
Yeah.
They got no chance. I mean, it's they're not gonna. No.
I mean, that's what killed me last week because Justin Fields was out, and then DJ Moore couldn't do anything. So I just don't see a way that the Raiders are not super great either, but they do have at least some decent wide receivers. Of course, they've got Devontae Adams, and Jacoby Myers has been doing really well this season. So it's hard not to pick the Raiders here.
It's a Brian Hoyer versus Tyler Badgett quarterback matchup.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot Jimmy G. Yeah, I forgot Jimmy G's out, but even still.
It's Raiders all the way.
All
I'm
right.
worried about Jacoby Myers. I don't realize Garoppolo was out.
Were you switching?
No,
he's not switching
for
for this, for fantasy.
Like fantasy.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Fantasy,
so.
All right. So next up, we've got the Browns at the Colts.
Is that Tyler?
No, it's not. Wait a minute. Oh shit! I forgot.
Way to go.
Spoiler.
Oh my bad. Yeah, I found this guy and I'm like, that'll work. Good tacky fan.
I love it.
But yeah, this one was probably one of the easier ones to pick. Gardner Minshew looked really bad last week. We talked about it. I still think they'll be okay as far as the season goes, but against that Browns defense right now, it's hard not to pick the Browns. I think it's still gonna be. Is it still gonna be PJ Walker?
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah.
I think so.
So that's two games
check real quick.
2 games in a row with double backup quarterbacks playing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
the Browns have surprisingly looked better with PJ Walker than with Deshaun Watson, which is really funny because nobody likes Deshaun Watson.
Ever since his massage event has not been good. And I'm very happy about it. He shouldn't be in the league, honestly.
Deshaun Watson is officially listed as questionable. He was a full participant in practice on Friday.
Okay, so it might be.
I think they just start PJ. He did better last week than Deshaun has. So.
I mean, certainly if he's still questionable, they should at least give it a week. If PJ can get it done, and I think he can this week. So let's move on to the next one. We've got the Commanders at the Giants. Talk about just a gross game.
I'll be honest. So far this week, it's been a lot of kind of gross games. There's not been many good ones we've seen.
I don't know if I will pick the Giants in a single game for the rest of the season. At their rate of play. I mean,
if they play the Panthers, I might. I don't know if they're playing I don't think they're playing the Panthers, but
I still might pick the Panthers over the Giants. I really think they got lucky when they won the one game that they have, and I think they're the worst team in the league. They just look horrible.
One thing I can't figure out is why they played as good as they did against the Bills. They could have won that game if they hadn't have been stupid and just ran the ball on the 1 yard line instead of trying to pass it to Darren Waller. That's what they should have done.
I think it was just an off game from the Bills. I don't think it was the Giants played that well. I think it was an off game by the Bills.
I would hope so because the fact that the Bills almost lost that would have knocked them way down in the power rankings. But Commanders have not been amazing or anything, but especially this matchup, you just got to go Commanders, I think.
Ron Rivera is elite. Am I right?
No.
Wouldn't go that far. I would say their defensive line against the Giants' backup offensive line is going to give the edge to the Commanders the whole game.
Ron Rivera's on the hot seat. That's what he's elite at right now.
The Commanders have been doing better than I thought they would this year.
I mean, that's
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's got to do with, I think Sam Howell has been decent too. He's had some bad times too, but he's been overall okay. So let's move on. We got another one-off. So Jason, I told you get ready. You got several of them. So we got the Lions at the Ravens. Everyone went Lions except for Jason, who went the Ravens. And honestly, I respect it. I could see the Ravens putting up a good fight here.
This is the first exciting matchup of the week, I think.
Yeah, this might be a good game.
I think this might be game of the week, honestly. I know Sunday Night Football, everyone's hyping up, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. I am shocked that nobody else picked the Ravens. and this is another game where I did a little bit more research into it, and that might screw me over. I might be thinking about it too much, but the Ravens defense is pretty good. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Lions may have some people out this week.
Well, when David Montgomery's out.
David
But
Montgomery is out.
They still have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's good.
Marvin Jones Jr. is out. Jonah Jackson, their left guard, is out. They don't have a fullback. I know that teams don't use fullbacks really, but their fullback is on IR.
I'm switching. No fullback?
Are you crazy? No fullback. We got.
How are they gonna win this game?
Oh, I think I had a gut feeling to pick the Ravens, and then I did a little more research, and that kind of like solidified me picking them this week. So
I respect it. I'm on that Lions hype train this year, honestly. So
Me too. I have a hard time not rooting for Jared Goff and the Lions this year. I want to see the Lions have been so bad for so long, and just to see so much hype around them. I mean, they literally got to be in the very first game of the NFL season. There's that much hype around them, and then they won. So
they beat the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, that's right. So
they beat the Chiefs, and then they lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah. But I got to say, like, I mean, especially with the 49ers losing the Browns, like, a lot of people have switched. You know, everyone was saying 49ers easily for the NFC, and now a lot of people are saying Lions. I think it really could go either way, but this one was really a pick of who I think's got the better offense. And the Ravens have a lot of weapons, but then, like, they've been dropping a lot of balls, and Lamar hasn't been as good as we thought he'd be with all those weapons. So, for me, it was offense versus offense. I think both defenses will do a decent job, but because of that, I had to go Lions.
Once again, I forgot. The Ravens have the second-ranked defense in the league. I didn't realize they were that high up.
I didn't know either. That almost sways me. That almost sways me, but I'm with Ryan. I'm gonna ride the Lions hype train.
Gotta hop on the Lions hype.
to make you feel a little bit better about your own pick, the Lions have the third-ranked offense. So you got third-ranked offense versus a second-ranked defense this week. So I think it's gonna be a great game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We've got another sweep. We got the Bills. We got the Bills at the Patriots. Yeah, we got another Patriots crazy fan. So, yeah, we all went Bills. This was the easiest pick, I think, of the week. I know the Bills didn't play as good last week, but I like what Jason said. I'm hoping that was just a bad week for them. Against the Patriots, with their offense being as garbage as it is, I just... I can't see the Bills lose this game.
Yeah, this game is. I have no desire to watch it. I think it's gonna be a blowout from the start.
I'd watch it because I hate the Patriots and I love the Bills. So honestly, I probably get enjoyment out of hope. And I either get enjoyment or pure agony out of watching this if the Patriots end up doing well.
One thing we do have to keep in mind is it is a divisional matchup, so maybe the Patriots put up a better fight, but I don't know. I just can't see a way where the Patriots have a chance here.
An update on my bold prediction from the beginning of the season about the Patriots having a bottom 5 offense. They are currently bottom 6 offense.
Oh shit!
And two of those teams have played one less game than them that's below them. So
wow. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We got an interesting one here.
What a hater.
Matthew is such a Seahawks hater. I cannot believe it. I understand that there's history there, but still, like, what? So, we got the Cardinals at the Seahawks. Everyone went Seahawks except for Matthew, which I think was funny. I did the deal with it glasses, and he's already got glasses on in his picture. So, he's got double glasses right now. I'd love to ask Matthew, you know, he was potentially going to be here if he fucking woke up, but here we are. I'd love to ask him why he decided to pick the Cardinals, or if it was just really just a fuck it, I hate the Seahawks kind of pick.
Fuck it, I hate the Seahawks, and also he followed me last week and did bad, so maybe he hates Seahawks even more this week because I steered him wrong last week. I think it's. I mean, to be fair, it's a divisional matchup. And the Cardinals and Seahawks probably in the history of the matchup, I'd say it's probably pretty even, honestly. I know the Cardinals are much worse this year than they usually are, but still, it's. I'm not like 100% confident the Seahawks are going to win this game because the one Seahawks game I've been to was at Lumen Field back when it was CenturyLink against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals beat us. So
here's the record for the Seahawks versus Cardinals. The Seahawks lead the series 25-22 and one tie.
Exactly. So it's pretty even, honestly. There's I think pretty much all the NFC West. The only one that's probably not that even. I mean, the Seahawks probably have losing records against the Rams and the 49ers, if I had to guess. But yeah, it's a pretty even matchup. I still obviously gonna pick Seahawks no matter what because it's my fucking team. But I still think the Seahawks should win this.
This is one of those games that I guess I could see because it's a divisional matchup, and especially based on those stats, I could see the Cardinals finding a way to win. But I would be more mad at myself picking the Cardinals and then, of course, the Seahawks win than I would be if the Cardinals won and the Seahawks. And I think the Seahawks. So
a lot of it rides on if the Geno of last year shows up or the Geno of last week shows up. Because Geno wasn't awful last week, but he was the reason, honestly, we lost that game. We could have won the game. Geno just was being his rest of his career self last week, pretty much, and being a mid-tier quarterback. I love him still, and I hope he turns it around again. But with all those weapons at your disposal, you gotta have some fucking some momentum and movement on offense.
You need to try to keep track of the stats of the Seahawks when you watch them play versus not, and see, see how they do for the whole season.
If we fucking lose this game, I'm probably not gonna watch another Seahawks game that much this year. Because every game I've watched, I think we've lost. So that's not true. I think I watched one where we won.
So
I watched the Lions. I watched us beat the Lions.
The Seahawks don't have a losing record against a division rival.
Oh, we don't? I swore honestly, I thought the Rams would be the ones that we'd have the losing record against.
You have the best record against the 49ers.
That makes sense. The 49ers were shit for a while. They've only been good recently.
Yeah, you barely lead the series with the Rams, barely lead it with the Cardinals, and then it's 30-20 against the 49ers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, in general, even out of especially like all our teams as well, and like our podcast teams, the Seahawks have been the best in the past like decade, hands down. That's not even being biased. In the past decade, we've easily been the best.
Yeah, no, that is a fact. It's probably the Seahawks. Probably Seahawks, Titans, Dolphins.
I think Packers is number two.
I would say Seahawks, Packers, Titans, Dolphins, then the Broncos.
I don't know. I mean, Broncos won Super Bowl. Dolphins have been good the past couple of years. The Dolphins were utter shit like 5 years ago.
But I think if you took the overall record from each of our teams for the last 10 years, the Broncos probably have the worst record.
I don't know. I think it's you or the Dolphins. I'm not sure. The Dolphins might be because y'all did really well in the early 2010s.
I mean,
yeah, I would think it. If I was to guess, I would say Dolphins would be lower too. But
yeah,
we can look into this. We can look.
We'll look it up later on.
Yeah,
it's not worth. We don't have the actual stats. It's not worth debating. But I think we can all agree Seahawks definitely have done the best over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Out of our teams.
So let's move on. We've got the Steelers at the Rams. So we've got another sweep. The Steelers. Their offense just stinks. It just really stinks. I hope maybe they can get it together. If Kenny Pickett keeps calling audibles and ignoring what Matt Canada tells him to do, maybe the Steelers have a chance. But the Rams' offense right now is looking really good. So
Puka had an off week last week, though, Steven.
He had a bit of an off week, yeah. Kyren Williams still did well, and then he got hurt, so I don't have him this week. But I'm hoping Puka has another good week since Kyren Williams isn't in there. But, I mean, with Cooper Kupp being back, Matthew Stafford's going to try to go his way if he can. And I respect that. I mean, Cooper Kupp was Offensive Player of the Year, 2 or 3 years ago? So, Cooper Kupp's really good. We know that. It's good to see him back because he was out for the whole season last season.
Yeah. I mean, Cooper Kupp's one of the main reasons they won the Super Bowl. So.
Oh, yeah, easily. Y'all got anything to say about this?
I think it's crazy that the Steelers have a winning record right now.
Old Mike Tomlin. Still doing Mike Tomlin things.
Mike Tomlin, I mean, besides, of course, Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin's probably my favorite head coach. I don't like the Steelers, very much. But I love Mike Tomlin. Just I don't know. He's a cool looking motherfucker. Honestly, like he looks cool. He seems like he's a well level headed dude. I don't know. He's been around forever.
I think it's crazy though. Like if you have seen the footage, and it's not even just in Steelers games; it's happening in other places that people are chanting "Fire Matt Canada." When I can't imagine being that guy and seeing that happen in other in hockey stadiums in Pittsburgh or wherever it is. They're chanting "Fire Matt Canada," and imagine being a hockey player in that. Be like, what the fuck are they chanting "Fire Matt Canada"? Like, what's going on? Let's move on. Fuck this game. All right. So next up, we've got
only been either sweeps or one-offs on every single game this week so far.
There's at least one or two slides that there's a 4-2 split. I don't think there's any 3v3s this week at all.
That's it. Well, so far,
yeah.
You, me, Gavin, and Tyler have Steven is in you have fully agreed on every single slide. It's only Jason and Matthew have gone off so far. So
yeah. All right. Well, yeah, so we've got the Chargers at the Chiefs. We've got a divisional matchup, but it is in Arrowhead. And everyone went for the Chiefs except for Matthew, who picked the Chargers. I mean, it's possible. I could see
Well, hold on. Will Taylor Swift be there?
It's in Arrowhead, so probably.
Because if she's there, probably the Chiefs will win. But,
I mean, I hope the Chargers win this game. I think the Chiefs may have some issues stopping the Chargers offense, but at the end of the day, it's the Chiefs, and I think they're going to pull it out, especially being at home.
I wonder if McCole Hardman will play. That's one thing I'm wondering. He just got traded, but are they going to have him inactive for this week maybe? Just to get him resituated, I guess?
No idea.
No idea.
Obviously, I think the Chiefs are going to win this game, but I think this is a lot closer game than usual Chiefs matchups we see, for sure. I think the Chargers can go off, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, Justin Herbert's honestly, I don't think he's underrated. I don't know, he might be a little bit underrated quarterback. He's pretty fucking good.
He's really good. I mean, he always does well in fantasy. I haven't been playing him the last couple weeks because Jalen Hurts has been putting up more points, but I also have Eckler, so I really hope Eckler can have a really big game this week.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Cool.
Here's a 4-2.
So, honestly, the Chargers need to fucking, if they're going to get a Super Bowl or something, they need to win it soon. Because they have some good weapons, but they have some old ass weapons like Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. They're both pretty old, aren't they? So
Eckler's not that old.
Yeah, he's only.
Is he not that old? I thought he was older. Never mind.
But I mean, Keenan Allen is right. I think.
Oh, Keenan Allen's for sure old. Yeah.
And the problem is the Chargers. They always seem to be good, and then they just fucking choke somewhere that just absolutely costs them. So. If they can just not do that a year, they might have a chance.
Yeah, Eckler's only 28.
That's old.
Still pretty old for running back actually. Yeah, I didn't think he was that old.
I stand by that. That is an old for running back for sure. I mean, I know it's younger than me and Steven, but it is old for running back. So, I think they need, if they have a chance to do well, they got to do it in the next couple of years because I think obviously Justin Herbert's young. But Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler are the two of their biggest weapons, and they're probably getting close to retiring age. So,
yeah. Speaking of old running backs, I hate the fact that everyone's talking about Derrick Henry, how old he is as a player, and he was born a month after me. So it just makes me feel terrible. Uh-oh. Did you freeze, Ryan? You good? No. Okay. Yes.
Y'all all froze from me.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
I can't see your screen anymore, weirdly.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, all of a sudden you just froze and we're just smiling. Like, you just look so happy. I'm like, okay.
I could like hear the breakdown on my internet, so I just kind of stood still and smiled because I'm about to freeze. So I'm gonna make a good post.
that was good. That was great.
And then frozen. So.
All right, let's move on. We've got this is one of our 4-2 splits.
Yeah.
So we've got the Packers at the Broncos, and everyone went Packers except for Jason and Tyler. So I'm sure you would prefer somebody else besides Tyler going with you. But then again, look how he did last week.
I'm going to say, after last week, I kind of feel okay about it. I mean, maybe he's turning it around.
I'm tempted to switch to Broncos purely for the fact that Matthew went against the Seahawks. I want to, just for the fucking pettiness of me, I want to kind of switch to the Broncos. If it wasn't the fucking Broncos, then I just can't fucking trust them.
Okay, I was about to say, I'll do it right now if you want to.
Let's say, if honestly, they were playing anybody besides, Broncos, Giants, or Panthers, I would switch. But I just can't trust the Broncos until they start doing well again.
I'm looking at Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones actually plays, I think Aaron Jones will have a big game this game. I think that's kind of the key. If he doesn't play, I feel a lot more worried because A.J. Dillon's pretty slow, and I don't think he's all that great. So, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Because he's looking like he's going to play, I had to go Packers here. And then the Broncos have just been... You don't know if their offense or their defense is going to play good. They can't both play good at the same time for some reason.
Yep.
So, you got anything else to add, Jason, with it being your team?
So if Matthew had been here, we had this funny, elaborate plan that we were going to switch our picks at the last second, and he was going to pick the Broncos and I was going to pick the Packers, because we both feel the same way and the fact that we could see this game going either way because we just don't know how our team is going to wind up playing. They've both played really good at separate times. My final consensus on this game is the team that scores the most points is going to win.
Yeah, that is a fact.
I really do not know who's going to win this game, but I had to pick my own team because, especially with it being a team of somebody that's on the podcast.
It does help that you're at home too. I do think that's a big part of it. If y'all were going to Lambeau, that would be really tough. So
I mean,
that
you
does
say
help.
that, but the combined record of these two teams is 3-8. So,
yeah, hate it for Matthew, but at the same time, it's like he's been spoiled for so long with a good Packers team. So
yeah,
don't hate it for me though. I get it.
No, I mean I hate it for you too. Yeah, you've lived
this has been
in
the
it.
past 8 years for you, Jason. So.
Yeah, let me have one good season, okay?
Just 2015, y'all won the Super Bowl.
I will tell you though, I picked the Packers here, 100% rooting for the Broncos, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. It is funny though, just kind of on how the Broncos have been bad for so long thing. Technically, out of all of our podcast teams, though, Broncos have won the last Super Bowl. Out of all of our teams, the Broncos won it the last time. But they've just exactly so they've had the most recent success technically. Even though they've been absolute crap. Yeah, Titans haven't won one.
We have been to one game or one Super Bowl and lost it. So 0 Super Bowl wins.
The Dolphins haven't won one in the 21st century, have they?
The Dolphins haven't won one in a long time.
They won when they had that undefeated season. But I don't know.
That was the 80s, 70s?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And the Packers won in the 2000s, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
When it like 2008, 2009, something like that.
I think so. The Seahawks obviously won 2013. So
the last time the Dolphins won the Super Bowl was 1974.
Hey,
yep. Hey, better than the Titans.
Hey, yeah, that's true. Hey, 1974, great year. Big fan. I miss those days. You know?
The Packers won it in 2011.
Oh, it's 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Seahawks won it in 2015, right? And then the Broncos
13. Y'all were 15. We were 13.
Oh, that's right.
Y'all were in the 2013 Super Bowl, but we beat your ass really bad. So.
Yeah, 43-8. I remember.
All right. Let's move on. I put this on here because a lot of people are saying this is going to be the Super Bowl in a few months. I don't know if that's the case, but we got the Dolphins at the Eagles, and I can't believe that I did this, but I decided to go Eagles. Me and Ryan went Eagles. Everyone else went Dolphins. This is a tough game. But I think this is an exciting game. But I worry about the Eagles. They haven't looked as good as we thought they would. and that's why I almost picked the Dolphins. But I still feel like this is going to be a shootout, and I'm just going to give it to the Eagles ever so slightly.
Obviously the Dolphins are really hyped up this year. I mean, they got 75 points against the Broncos, but it's the Broncos. I mean, they lost pretty badly to the Bills, who's another top tier team. I mean, like, have they played any other top tier teams and actually like beaten them by a decent amount?
That's the thing. A lot of people have been talking about the Dolphins' schedule to this point has been pretty
Yeah,
easy.
but said I don't think they've actually played another top tier team besides the Bills, who they lost to. Really, have they? I mean, I don't remember their schedule.
I'm saying here, I'm comparing their schedules right now.
I'm not saying the Eagles have a harder schedule. I'm just saying the Dolphins are being very hyped up for beating mediocre to bad teams.
Both of these teams have played cupcake schedules up to this point.
Yeah, and I believe that, especially because the Eagles are in the NFC. That alone is cupcake compared to the AFC.
The comparison that you can look at is the losses. The Dolphins lost to the Bills. The Eagles lost to the Jets. One was by 20 points. One was by 6.
So the Eagles lost to the Jets by 6 points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the fact that the Dolphins. I mean, I know the Jets are not a top tier team. They're not awful, but they're not like the. I think they're on the rise. I think for sure.
Their defense is really good.
It's the thing is, but the fact that the Eagles only lost by 6, whereas the fucking Dolphins, only time they've played a top tier team this season, and the Bills have not always been top tier in all their games, and they lost by 20 fucking points. I don't know. I don't see them going to Philadelphia and beating the Eagles.
This was one of the easiest games for me to pick this week. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Really?
I think this is the week the Eagles will really get exposed as not being the team that everybody thinks that they are this week or this year. They just do not look impressive in the slightest bit to me. Like, the only thing they have going for them is when they get to 4th and 1 and they can do the tush push. Other than that, they don't really look that good.
Shout out to all the other teams that have been trying to do the tush push this year and absolutely failing at it. Like, every other team just needs to keep doing the standard quarterback sneak, because it's really embarrassing watching these teams try it and failing.
Yeah, not even close. I think it's a 10 to 14 point game.
I just can't see that, man.
I don't see that at all.
The Dolphins' offense is going to be... The Eagles are not going to be able to stop them.
I think the Eagles' defense probably has a better chance at stopping than the Dolphins' defense have at stopping A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and, I guess, Julio Jones. And then I think Dallas Goedert has been looking better. I think we're going to see a good bit of him this game.
DeAndre Swift has been doing really good.
DeAndre Swift has been incredible. I don't know. I know Dolphins, of course, have the same situation. They've got Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle. They've got Mostert. I hate that they don't have A-Chain. If they had A-Chain back, I'd probably pick them. But I think this is a great matchup. I do think this will be a decently high-scoring game, but I don't see either team running away with it personally. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be within a score kind of game. I don't know about what you think, Ryan, but
yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, but
like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins win. I still stand on the fact that they fucking lost by 20 points to the Bills, and I don't think the Bills and the Eagles are about the same, honestly, skill level. So.
But I forgot to mention it when we brought it up. But yeah, Dolphins and the Eagles is the Sunday night football game. It's actually a good primetime game. I'm happy about that. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it actually ends up being a good primetime game, but we'll see what happens. So let's move on to Monday.
Also, probably...
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going to say, just a joke. I think I joke at the end. Also, probably a Philly fan will stab some Dolphins players on the way in, knowing how Philly fans are. So
they might kill a dolphin somewhere and just be take a picture with it.
They'll have just a dolphin carcass to intimidate the players because they're batshit crazy.
Yeah, Eagles fans don't come from me,
Philadelphia, but y'all are the fucking worst fan base. Easily.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one here. We've got the 49ers at the Vikings. Monday Night Football. And we see old Tyler over there by himself picking the Vikings.
He's not going to get that lucky 2 weeks in a row.
I would fucking love it. Honestly, this is another week in a row where I think he's dumb for picking this. But I was wrong last week, but I would be extremely happy if it did happen because Vikings like my number 2 team, I think, is what I ranked them, and 49ers number 32. That would be ecstatic if this happened, but no, that's not going to happen.
The difference in last week and this week is the Browns have a good defense. The Vikings don't.
Yeah, I just don't see a way with all those weapons on the 49ers offense. I just can't see a way that the Vikings can stop them at all. I can't believe you picked the Vikings here, but Tyler just likes being wacky at this point. Mm-hmm. He just does it.
Last week gave him so much false confidence with those 2 picks he got with the Commanders and the fucking Browns that he's just going to do them from now on every week. And you know what? I'm for it. Maybe he'll that might be the thing. It worked last week. He caught back up a little bit,
Who knows?
He tied for first.
Yeah, but I think the 49ers especially, they're going to come out really angry in this one just because everyone was hyping them up and then everybody's kind of been dragging them down because of losing last week. So I think the 49ers are going to come out as hard as they possibly can. They're just going to be as aggressive as possible trying to win this game. So I feel bad. I feel bad that the Vikings have to play them after they have a loss like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. The final game, technically week 8. We got Thursday Night Football. I had to clarify this with Tyler. So anyways, the Buccaneers at the Bills. Tyler picked the Buccaneers. Everyone else picked the Bills. So Tyler only sent me Buccaneers once, and then there was no other, there was no Falcons, there was no Bills. So I was like, hey, did you mean to pick Buccaneers twice here? And he said, C. So apparently he meant to actually pick the Buccaneers here. I don't know if he just said that to just get me to leave him alone or what, but that's what he said. Yeah, I don't understand why he picked the Bills or picked against the Bills at home on Thursday Night Football. But here we are.
We already established that he's a Bills hater.
He really does hate the Bills. Season. Yeah, he really hates Josh Allen more than anything, I feel like.
I think it's so unwarranted. I don't know why. Josh Allen seems like a nice dude.
I think it's got to do maybe with the Bills destroyed the Titans last year, 41-7. Maybe that's part of it. It sure seems like I never noticed it before then, but after that, there's some Bills hate. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one either. The Buccaneers look good. I just don't think they're ready for the Bills. I just don't see them having a chance here.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Steven, we picked identical in every single pick this week.
I knew that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I know you knew that because you did the picks, but I just realized that. I was like, me and Steven that's a good thing because Steven's 2 games behind me now, so there's no way he can catch up this week.
Well, and that's the thing is I've always done this. When y'all send me the picks, I'll make sure y'all have got everybody on there, but I try my best not to pay attention to who picked what because I don't want it to sway me one way or the other. So I go ahead and put my head on first on each of the slides, and then I start putting everyone else's in. And yeah, I noticed that. I was like, yep, I'm not getting any ground on Ryan this week because we picked exactly the same.
So Jason, I think Jason, you picked different than me like 3 times, actually 4 times.
No, he had
Jason
a few.
Could technically.
Yeah, if he gets
Jason
those,
could tie with me this week for second. If I get all those wrong and he gets all those right, you could tie with me for second. I think.
Yeah, he was one off on a few, and then we both went Eagles, and he went Dolphins. So yeah, there's a lot of chances for Jason to
and then
catch back up.
Packers and Broncos.
Yep, that too.
I think it's exactly 4. So Jason, if you get all 4 of those that we pick different right, we'll tie. I think right. Yeah, that's the math.
Yep.
But yeah.
So I mean, that's a good thing. I'm guaranteed for sure to stay in second going into next week. But I could end up tied with Jason going into next week.
Fingers crossed.
So let's go back up to our overall stats. So that's what it looks like right now.
4-headed Jason, so yeah.
No matter what, I'm gonna be probably. Well, actually, never mind. I could if Jason does that, I'll fall to 4th place.
Yeah, let's say you and Jason can switch up this week for sure. Y'all can't pass me, but Jason can catch up to me this week.
Yeah,
and then I can't get up to Gavin. I don't think I've picked 4 games different than Gavin. And then Matthew and Tyler, their own little thing down there now. So they
They're in a
They're
battle
not
for
catching up to
fifth.
either of us. They can eventually catch up to us, but not this week. They can't catch up to us.
I'm trying to think, have I ever, since we started the podcast, have I ever picked by myself on any
I don't
game?
think so.
I don't think I have either. I know
What a
you.
sheep, Steven.
Yeah, I know. I guess I am. I guess I should have put myself on that slide earlier. You're leading me off the cliff.
I really didn't think I'd pick by myself this many times in 1 week. Especially, I usually don't pick by myself, period. I usually have people with me.
I knew going into this, like, with my picks this week, I knew what I did. I'm like, I know this is going to be a rare week for Ryan where I'm going to have like no games that are by myself. And I'm, the closest one I was in the minority was the Eagles fucking Dolphins game. And I'm not surprised about that, but I did have Steven with me at least.
Yeah. So, yeah, like you said, we're just, nothing's going to happen between you and me.
Yep.
It's just going to be, it's all on Jason at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it, guys. That's everything. So, y'all got anything else to add, or y'all ready to call it a podcast?
I'll say it's perfect timing too, so I'm ready to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. 12:30. All right. Well, Ryan, you want to do the outro?
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us for another crazy week of Always Out of Market podcast. Will Jason pass Steven? Will he catch up to Ryan? Will Tyler be an idiot again or a genius again? Find out next time and Always Out of Market. Everybody, hands in. And football!
Football!